All right, welcome back to Live at Drew's House. My name is Drew Moholland. Hope you're all doing okay out there. Gonna get right into the show today. No Sarah, she is off for today. Lamm is joining us. She just ran 26.2 miles. For those of you who don't know, how do you not know? The Boston Marathon was postponed this year, and people ended up doing it on their own. They called it the virtual Boston Marathon, all that stuff. Lauren, congratulations. You just did 26.2.
Thank you. Yeah.
Where did you go? How did it all work out?
So Teddy's team, which is the team I ran for, had their own little start and finish line. So we started near the Copley area. We went out and did the Heartbreak Hill area to Wellesley, and then came back. So we did an out and back course.
So you actually got a lot of the marathon course, which is interesting.
We did, yeah. So we got like the Fenway portion of it all the way out to the Wellesley. So we did Heartbreak Hill twice. We did out and back. So we got a lot of that, which is great.
Interesting. What was the, let's take a look back for a moment, because I know this was kind of a roller coaster for so many people who were ready to do the Boston. Is this your first one, or?
No, I did it last year with Teddy's team as well. So last year was my first Boston.
Okay, so you have one legit race under your, I mean, it's all legit, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, the official, yeah.
Official, because I know there is nothing like that, right? Is running through Kenmore Square and all that. I know we'll talk about that in a minute, but what was it like hearing that this was going to be postponed? It must have been somewhat devastating, I would imagine, or what was your reaction?
Yeah, so when it was postponed, we were all at like pretty high mileage already. I was at mile 18, so we had run 18 miles, like I think the day before or 2 days before it was postponed. So that was kind of heartbreaking, because you train, you go up to like those miles, and to learn that not only it's probably not going to look like Boston, but it's also going to be months away, was really heartbreaking. I had already done it, so I was really sad for myself, but I was really sad for the people that this was their first marathon, this is their first Boston, because it is a lot of the experience that everybody hopes to get. So yeah, it was definitely, it was a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, you did a lot of the same route. Obviously, you don't have that fan support. I can imagine that everybody I've ever talked to who runs these marathons is like, that fan support really picks you up as you're going. What was it like, kind of, I mean, I'm sure you had some friends out there, but like kind of digging for your own energy a little bit. Was that difficult at all?
It definitely was. It was definitely sad knowing that it wasn't exactly what everyone was picturing when we signed up for the Boston Marathon. Having done it last year, you don't go an inch without having somebody like screaming your name and everything. We all have, for Teddy's team, we all have our names on our jerseys, so it's really motivating having people say like, go ahead, Lauren, come on, you can do it, when you're going up the hills and the difficult parts. We had a great support system though. A lot of people were out doing their virtual Boston Marathon on roughly the same route. So we had a lot of people with Teddy's team, and then with other charity teams and other runners, support systems that were like cheering for us. So it was actually really nice. There weren't very many areas that we didn't have people out there. So it was actually really nice. It was kind of a surprise.
Very cool. Well, then that was a good time to tell me a little bit about Teddy's team.
Yes. So Teddy's team is all about stroke and heart disease. So they do, they raise awareness, they contribute to research, fundraising, so they help out in that. And then they also do a comeback assistance program. So for people who have had strokes and different heart, sorry, I'll start that over.
Very good.
I know more about the stroke than I do about the heart, because I had a stroke, but they do a comeback assistance program for people who have had strokes and need assistance with their comebacks, with either therapy or different technologies, and then also people who have had heart episodes that they need some assistance as well. So they do a great deal of good in the world in that area. So it's really nice to be a part of that.
Absolutely. And I actually, a lot of the guests that I have on my show, I do know at least a little bit beforehand. I don't know you. You were recommended to me as somebody who had just ran. But you also just came off a stroke as well. You've had a stroke in your life. Give me a little bit of what, I mean, I can't imagine it running after that. This is an unbelievable story.
Yeah. So I had a stroke in 2016, the day after my 25th birthday. It was a PFO, which is the same type of stroke that Teddy Bruschi had, the founder of the team.
Mhm.
I was really lucky. I had the stroke. I was able to go to hospital really quickly. I had no deficits that were lasting after that. I got the PFO as a hole in your heart. I had it repaired actually on Marathon Monday of that year, and um, found Teddy's team after that because of the doctor who had fixed the PFO was actually Teddy Bruschi's doctor, and he introduced me to kind of the whole world of stroke research and comebacks. And I knew just as much as everyone else. I didn't think strokes happened to younger people. I didn't think strokes happened out of the blue. And yeah, so I kind of got turned on to it there. So that was the first introduction there. And then now my dad had a stroke actually in 2018 or 2017, excuse me, and passed away right after that. So
Oh, I'm sorry.
thank you. So I run for him mostly. He's my stroke hero. There's a lot of survivors, stroke survivors on the team. There's a lot of stroke caretakers on the team. So it's a really great group of people. It's really motivating to have all these people that have overcome so much and have dealt with so much in their life, and then to turn it around and to help other people become aware of the signs of stroke and the warning signals is amazing.
That's great advice. Again, Lauren Lamm joining us. It's funny, I'm a little bit older than you, but Teddy Bruschi I do remember that when he had the stroke, it was a little bit of a surprise to, I think, so many people. Great in shape athlete, not an old guy, but still, I don't think that quite hits you. I mean, he was, at the end of his career, I remember, but to hear that, 20, what were you, 25, you said?
It was 25, yeah.
I think that hits home with so many people that are in our age demographic. Is it something that you try to get the word out on, or because it's not something I think about. I would never think to look for a stroke or stroke symptoms in somebody, but it does happen to younger people.
Exactly. And I think a lot of illnesses and situations out there, medical situations out there, the warning signs can be really subtle. For strokes, they're not. So if you know them, it can make a huge impact on someone's recovery and their ability to recover. So if you know we at Teddy's team, like we have the Be Fast, which is the warning signs of stroke. If you know those, you could save someone's life. You could save their speech. You could save their motor skills, like everything. So it's really important to know that it happens to people that aren't older. It happens to babies. It happens all the time, and it's not as uncommon as you think. So that's kind of the biggest thing that Teddy's team tries to push is if you know the signs, even if you don't have an elderly parent or a grandparent or somebody, you could save somebody just by knowing those basic warning signs.
Excellent stuff. You said you run for your dad. Did you know as soon as you got through the stroke and you realized you're healthy and you know what, okay, I'm going to come back from this? Did you know you were going to run the Boston Marathon not once but twice, and who knows, maybe 3 times? I don't know.
No, I did not. I ran one marathon before this. It was the Disney World Marathon. I needed my first one to be very distracting, and having characters like sing to you while you run was what I thought was perfect. So never in a million years would I have thought, number one, that I would be running the Boston Marathon virtually. Number two, that I would be on Teddy Bruschi's team, because my dad was a massive Patriots fan. He would be absolutely beside himself if he knew that we were on the same team together and going for this great cause and raising funds and just doing good. So it's very surreal, but yeah, great.
We talked to you as the NFL season kicks in. I know this all happens kind of all at once. Seems like everything's happening at once. I was saying to my wife the other day, it's like all the sports are playing right now. The marathon's happening. It's like it seems like everything in the world is trying to catch up a little bit. But it's been a wild 2020, of course.
Yeah.
What was it like running? Let's get back to this recent marathon, this virtual 26.2, and it was really cool. I actually had it was my wife's friends, but I know them too. And we went to Revere Beach, and we had some friends who were running 26.2, and they came around, and we were the only ones there, but we had signs for them. And it struck me as they ran by that, like, there's nobody here. There's people walking in the other direction, walking their dogs, and not paying attention to what these people trained for. So we tried to cheer loud for them, but I was thinking it must be so strange for these people running that this isn't how they pictured it, but they're making the best of it. I thought it was admirable.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. Like last year running the marathon, obviously everybody who's anywhere near Boston or any of those towns, the world kind of stops for you. Like the roads are closed, everyone's out cheering for you. They're cheering for the people running. They're not doing other stuff. So running by people that are just like grabbing Starbucks, and it was very strange. Like it's just like everyone's world is just going, and we've been waiting for this moment. We've been like training and practicing and doing all these things and hoping that it's still going to happen and nothing else is going to change, because we were planning on running as a team. So obviously, like if the social distancing guidelines got stricter, we would have to stop and adjust again. And just watching our team be ready and prepared, and like we were counting down the days and we barely slept the night before, and then people were just like carrying on as if it was just like another Saturday morning. It was really weird, but it's kind of like world now. It's crazy.
Might I say, Lauren, you've recovered very well. I reached out to a group of runners, you included, but and some of them were like, absolutely not. I am days away from being able to talk. You look fantastic.
Thanks. I'm sitting down, so I can barely walk.
Where are you talking to us from?
I'm in Situate, Mass.
In Situate, okay. South Shore, very good.
Yep.
How is it? Is it for somebody who's never done a marathon? Is it what you're immediately after it? Is it painful? Are you like just looking forward to going to bed tonight? What's it been like?
It's really emotional. You're just like physically exhausted, so you're mentally exhausted. So your whole body just kind of lets go. I always cry like at the end of a marathon. You're just so relieved that it's over, especially this year. I was very emotional. I had a lot of pain in my legs, obviously, but you're excited. I think adrenaline kind of gets you. I was definitely asleep by like 7:30 or 8 last night. But up until then, yeah, you're just excited. You're ready to celebrate with your teammates, and I was really excited to wear the finisher jacket, which we've been like holding in our closet. You can't wear it until after you finish, so
yep.
We all bought it in March, and we weren't able to wear it. So,
are you a natural born runner? Like I always say, like my wife can naturally get out of bed and she wants to run 6 miles. I don't have that gene. It's a grind for me.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's not a super big struggle for me to run casually.
Yeah.
Run a marathon, nobody can casually run a marathon, in my opinion. It takes a lot of dedication.
If you're enjoying 26.2, I have questions.
Yeah, there's something wrong. But yeah, I enjoy running like casually.
Okay. And was it and when you got into the flow of it and you're moving, and how many people were actually like in your crew of running together?
So the team ran, I think it was 4 waves of 6 to 8 people. Yeah. So my wave was, I think 7, I could be wrong. And then I actually ran the whole entire thing with 2 of my teammates. They're both named Lauren. So the 3 Laurens that ran together the whole time. So it was all 3 of us, and I wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for them. It was awesome.
Do you mind me asking what did you all come in at the final time?
4:54:04.
Oh wow, very good.
So Teddy Bruschi's number. We were super excited about that.
That's right, 54. That's right. Teddy did how into the whole, is he a hands-on manager of the tennis team? Do you get to speak with him a lot, or?
Absolutely, yeah. So last year was my first year with Teddy's team. He ran the marathon with us last year. So he was at a lot of the training runs because he was training with us. This year, while we had them like earlier in the year, he went to a good portion of them. If he didn't run them, he was at a water stop. He goes to all the events. He's on a first name basis. He's super personable. He's such a friendly guy. He went to my fundraiser in February, I guess, when I had a trivia night to raise money for this. So Yeah, very, very hands-on. He's so dedicated to the cause just because it's so close to him and his family.
Yeah. Wow, that's great to hear. And then, speaking of your cause, I mean, your story is kind of for somebody who I didn't really know much about it beforehand. Again, a friend of a friend put us together. But Lauren, it's unbelievable how when you think about, do you ever like take a step back and just say, you know, where I was, okay, I had a stroke, and then I'm sure you had some dark moments after that, and then now look at where you are here and say, this is pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely. I think at first, when I first had the stroke, I was really embarrassed by it because I didn't know a lot about stroke. So I just assumed that when I told people, people would think I was just like super unhealthy or I was doing something wrong that caused it, or just like didn't really understand why I had it and how common it was for younger people. So I didn't really talk about it very much. I never used the term like I'm a survivor or anything like that because it just felt really weird, especially because I don't have any deficits. I'm not really like living with any not consequences, but I'm not living with any side effects of it afterwards. So it never really crossed my mind that I was like a survivor of anything. It wasn't until I joined Teddy's team that it became kind of part of my vocabulary, saying that I survived something, like I'm stronger because of it. I know more because of it. I was able to kind of understand like my dad's struggle because of it. So Teddy's team has done so much for my life. It's really life changing. It's been amazing. And I think that I can't talk about my stroke journey without talking about Teddy's team because I didn't really talk about it before I really was introduced to the other people who were like me, who had strokes out of the blue, and overcame them.
And I'm sure you have I know it's probably still an emotional time, just, 48 hours removed from running a marathon. But so my goal is not to make you cry, but I know you said you think of your dad every time that you do, when you do these things and you do run. What was he like?
He was awesome. He, super big Patriots fan, super supportive. Yeah, just he had 3 daughters and 2 sons, just a great dad, very loving. He would do anything for you. Super Italian guy, yeah, just the best. So he got esophageal cancer. He got diagnosed in February of 2017. He walked me down the aisle in May of 2017. It was great. And then passed away in November after suffering a stroke. So it was hard. It was really hard.
Yeah. Well, I know you think about him as you're doing this, and you said he couldn't believe that you'd be running these marathons. So that's fantastic.
No, definitely not.
You're really grinding there. Excellent job. Quick, we usually end these shows by doing some kind of like get to know the person a little bit, some rapid fire. You game for this?
Got it. Let's go.
First instinct. Can't hesitate. I have no way of penalizing you, but you have to.
Okay.
All right. Favorite TV show?
How I Met Your Mother.
Okay, you're good at this. Favorite movie?
Titanic.
What? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That is a first on the show, Titanic.
Okay.
I hate to see the one. Why did she let go?
Why did she let go?
Yeah, I'll never let go, Jack. And then she immediately lets go.
Well, I mean, he died. I think she meant like emotionally she'll never let go.
No, but like she should have just
back to him after death.
I know, but don't you think she should have brought him up on the? Never mind.
Yeah, I mean,
you had more to say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, like at the end of the movie, or when he was like, "You're gonna die an old lady, like warm in your bed," which is exactly how she died. Like that's what he wanted her to do. That so, like either like die with him or do what he wanted you to do.
I know. It just seemed to me that there was room on the. Again, never mind. Titanic. First time. That's the first time we've had Titanic. That's good.
Okay.
See, the thing is, you know what the thing is? We have a lot of like a lot of the high school athletes will come on during the sports seasons and everything, and and like some of them haven't even seen Titanic, which makes me feel.
Well, it's from like the 90s, yeah. I
know. Yeah, I saw that movie with my parents, which is actually kind of weird. The more I think about it, there was some
nudity.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Favorite quarantine activity?
Running.
Running, yes. I bet that is the answer, as a matter of fact. Favorite sport, running definitely doesn't count.
Football.
Football? Okay, that's good. First week of NFL football, that's very good.
Yeah.
Favorite musician?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift?
Yep.
That is not the first Taylor Swift answer.
I can't imagine it is if you talk to high school girls, but.
Yes. Well, that sounds weird. But
on your show.
Favorite concert you've ever been to?
Can I say Taylor Swift again?
No, that's perfectly fine. I expected that to be the same answer. Favorite food?
Pizza.
Yeah.
Cheeseburgers.
What was that one?
Or cheeseburgers.
Okay. Yeah, I said pizza to a guest the other day, and I was told I need to expand my horizons, and I said, don't hate on pizza.
I mean, it's easy. It's like
It is. Can you do that while running? Like not while running, but is that like part of the diet leading up to a marathon?
I have eaten pizza the night before a long run this whole time. So every Friday night I've eaten pizza.
Really? You kind of casually play that off, but I bet that's not that common.
I don't know. People have some weird things. Like everyone's like asked me this week, like, oh, did you eat a bunch of pasta? And like, that doesn't really do it for me, like carb loading or whatever. Like that's kind of a myth, but pizza for some reason, I think I did it once and I had a good run. So then it's just like a superstition. And I just went with it.
I love that. So we're going to take out of this that the key to running a marathon is pizza the night before.
Yeah. Like blanket statement. Everybody should do it.
That is fantastic. Okay. Very good. Favorite class in school back in the day?
Science.
Science. Why?
I don't know. I just like how the world like kind of works together in like really crazy, intricate ways. I don't know.
Very good. Okay. And what would be, again, we have a lot of high schoolers on, so think about them as you answer this, but what people probably thinking like, I could run a marathon someday. I actually used to say I would like to run a marathon someday, and now I'm 33 and haven't done it. So that tells me it can easily get ahead of you. What would
Never too late.
That's true. I'm not doing it next year either, though. Or I don't know. Who knows? But if you had to give one word of advice to the person, the youngster that wants to run a marathon, what would it be?
One word.
Not one word. One statement.
Like make small goals. So don't think about getting up tomorrow and running 26.2 miles. Like run 2 miles and then run 2.5, and they just keep doing that and just make small goals because it's going to be a lot more manageable mentally. And marathons are more mental, I think, than physical, especially towards the end. So if you can just wrap your head around smaller miles and slowly increase, you got it.
Do you ever think about quitting?
No, I don't think I planned on doing it more than once when I did the first one. And then after Teddy's team, I think I'm a lifer.
A lifer, man. Good for you. So never once, I mean, it never creeped into your head and then you had to talk yourself out of it? Like, I don't think I can do this?
Oh, yesterday.
Okay, yeah.
Like mile 19, I was like, I'm never doing this again. But then you finish and you're like, I could do that again. Like,
it's so worth it.
Finishing is awesome. Like, it's one of the best feelings in the world.
And the training, like some of those mornings, like New England seasons, like the weather's not always perfect.
It's not always perfect, honestly. So Boston, you train in the winter, and we complained about how cold it was. I'll never complain again because training in the summer is worse. Yeah. A lot worse. But I mean, you get through it. I did a lot on the treadmill when it was too humid, or you figure it out.
And last question, Lauren, there's a lot of people, I'm guessing a lot of people probably didn't do what you did and ended up doing this on their own time and did this kind of virtual Boston Marathon. I saw people all over the world I was just looking on Twitter, and there's people in other states and other countries that did it and posted their pictures of finishing. And I think it's a really cool thing. It's a great story to tell, but I bet there's some people that were just really devastated about not being able to run through Kenmore Square and they trained for it and then just got down. What would you say to those people who kind of had it rough?
I think what they did is a million times harder than the Boston Marathon. And the Boston Marathon is going to come back. It's going to be the Boston Marathon again. So if you can do a marathon by yourself, not even in Boston, like we have a teammate that did it in Louisiana, like in the summer, like that's crazy. If you can do that, Boston's going to be so much sweeter when you can finish and cross the finish line in Boylston and get that real experience, but it's not going to be harder than what they've already done. So just keep going.
And needless to say, Lauren Lamm, you'll be there next year?
Yeah.
Is it too soon?
I don't know. I mean, I want to do Chicago next year.
Oh, okay.
And I got into Chicago. It was deferred, obviously.
Are you from here? Are you a Boston girl?
Yeah, I'm from Boston.
Okay.
So I want to do the World Abbott majors. So that's Boston, New York, Chicago, and then Tokyo, Berlin, and London. You get like a big medal. So I think I might take a break from Boston and be the best spectator ever. And the rookies on our team that this was their first marathon, I'm going to cheer for them at Boston next year, and then maybe do another marathon. But I'm not leaving Teddy's team. So.
All right, very very cool. Well, that sounds great. We'll follow your story. Maybe we'll have you on next year around this time when we hopefully get back to marathon and spectators. Because I imagine there's no greater feeling in the world than running with just a corridor of sound of people just cheering for you.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What is that feeling? Sum that up for me. I need to know.
I don't know. You just feel like you can do anything. Like you have, and you know why you're running, and you know what you're running for and what you've trained for and everything. And then just to have other people out there recognizing it and being supportive and just not even knowing you, but getting excited. You get up that hill and cross the finish. It's just, it's great. It's amazing. I hope next year.
Well, Lauren Lamm, we wish you all the best. Congratulations on another marathon. This is great for you to join us. I know you're still, as you said, I think in pain was how you said it. I can imagine that.
A little bit.
Hope the recovery goes okay, and good luck in all your future marathons. Hopefully we'll have you on again and we can kind of bookend this thing if you don't mind. Thanks for doing it on show.
Yeah, no problem.
This was fun. It was quick and painless, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Lauren Lamm right there from Scituate just did the Boston Marathon virtual style. So many people did that. I saw it all over my Twitter feed for like the whole weekend. And I just thought it was a very cool thing. So hopefully you all enjoyed that. We went out to see our friends Shayla and Kevin. We ended up seeing them as they passed through Revere Beach. They did 26.2 as well and did great. Congratulations to our friends there. Shayla, you may remember, was on the show way back. But it was great to meet Lauren today, another runner. Not far removed from running 26.2, so still feeling it, obviously. And just great of her to join us. So there you go. That is our show for today. I hope you all enjoyed that. My name is Drew Moholland. We'll get Sarah back on here at some point. She keeps saying she's going to, I'm kind of doing it at weird times these days. I'm all over the place. So our schedules are kind of not lining up correctly, but we'll get her on soon for those of you who just tune in to see what Sarah's up to. I know there's many of you. My name is Drew Moholland, live from Drew's house. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.